Major, and I mean major breaking news straight out of the newsroom at this late hour. Donald Trump, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, and illegal immigration as a conversation. You know, there's an old quote you may have heard about once from, that guy with the cute mustache in Germany who was around in the 30s that says, the bigger the lie, the more people will believe it. Well, Donald Trump, in his time, has recorded more than 30,000 documented lies. The figure is higher than that. And after this breaking story today, it's growing one further. And this man, you cannot be surprised he continues to do this because he's done it since 2015 through a presidency of 4 years. And this country still elected this man. Do not forget, he made statements like this.
Together, we're going to deliver real change that once again puts America first. That begins with immediately repealing and replacing the disaster known as Obamacare.
And then, of course, along with repealing Obamacare on day one, had the Senate, had the House, never did it, he also then continued to talk about this.
I will build a great, great wall, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words. A lot of politicians have said, they're not going to pay. They never read the art of the deal. We lose. We have a trade imbalance with
Mr.
Mexico.
Trump, hold on a second.
John, of $50 billion. I said, you're not going to do it. This is like the wall. Believe me, we're going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it.
And yet, not only did he not build the wall, not only did one of Trump's pals get indicted for stealing money and corruption while building pieces of some of the wall, but Mexico certainly never paid for it. And then Trump had the audacity to say this.
Mexico, in some form, and there are many different forms, will reimburse us, whether it's a tax or whether it's a payment. Obviously, I never said this and I never meant they're going to write out a check. But in the end, Mexico's paying for the wall.
That's the guy who tells you he's going to do something and he's going to make somebody else do it because I'm the art of the deal. And yet it never happens. And still, this country still chooses to believe this guy. Well, in this breaking story, he is absolutely debunked now. Because when you finish a meeting with a fellow country's president, much less our southern sister, and you get the Mexico president to come out and say that what you said is not the truth out loud immediately, he hasn't even gotten in the presidency yet. And this is the kind of discord Donald Trump is already pushing in this breaking story.
Donald Trump just got called out by the president of Mexico for lying about a conversation they had today. On social media today, Donald Trump put out this statement saying, just had a wonderful conversation with the new president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum. She has agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. We also talked about what can be done to stop the massive drug inflow into the United States and also U.S. consumption of these substances. It was a very productive conversation. So he's claiming that the president of Mexico has vowed to end migration into the United States, which I don't even know how the president of Mexico would be able to do that. But anyway, but then just a couple of hours later, the president of Mexico responded to Donald Trump's analysis of their conversation, saying they made no plans to close the border and there was no agreement to close the border or anything like that. So it appears that Donald Trump just made this up to make people think that he's doing something and that it was really just that easy. Like he just lied about their conversation, just saying that she agreed to stop migration. That's just not true. Trump hasn't even taken office yet, and he's already lying about potential accomplishments.
Mexico leader responds to Trump claims she agreed to stop migration. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has appeared to contradict President-elect Donald Trump's claim that the two have struck a deal to stop migration to the U.S. border. After a phone call on Wednesday, Trump posted online, in quote, she has agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. Sheinbaum responded quickly that she had reiterated Mexico's position was not to close borders, but to address migration while respecting human rights. On Monday, Trump alarmed U.S. trading partners as he vowed upon taking office in January to slap an across-the-board tariff of 25% on Mexico and Canada and a 10% tariff on China. Sheinbaum later went back on X to say that she had explained to him, Trump, the comprehensive strategy that Mexico has followed to address the migration phenomenon respecting human rights. In quote, "We reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close borders, but to build bridges between governments and between peoples," she added. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau held an emergency meeting on Wednesday with 10 provincial premiers to discuss how to respond to Trump's tariff threat. He said the import duties on Mexico and Canada would only be removed once illegal immigration and drug trafficking to the U.S. had stopped. Sheinbaum vowed earlier on Wednesday to retaliate if the U.S. triggered a trade war. In quotes, "If there are U.S. tariffs, Mexico would also raise tariffs," she told a press conference. She was joined by Mexican Economy Minister Marcelo Ebrard, who urged more regional cooperation. In quotes, "It's a shot in the foot," Ebrard said, of Trump's proposed duties, which appear to breach the USMCA trade deal that Trump himself struck in 2018 during his first presidency between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. If this were you, and you were Mexico or Canada, what in the world might you do, especially when you signed an agreement with this clown in 2018, and now he's talking like, well, I'm going to do this if you don't do that, and he's going to play strong-arm guy. I have one word for you: retaliation. That's what you do. And we are sitting in between Canada and Mexico. And once again, many Americans don't really understand the global economy and don't understand supply chains and don't understand all of the things that we sell, yes, but that we also import. Stay tuned, because this is going to get nutballs. Have a great Thanksgiving, but stay frosty.